And this chapter deals about what Iman is and how we believe in it. What is our conviction about Iman? And this terminology is known when translated as faith. And it is the opposite of disbelief. So when you have Iman, on the opposite you have usually kufr. And we've spoken about the types of kufr in the last 4 lessons, so we don't need to repeat that again, inshallah. However, the author says, taken together, words, action, and belief constitute faith. So this is the definition of faith according to Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah. It is the conviction of the heart. Sometimes they translate it into the mind, but the Islamic terminology is the heart. And I'm not going to go into the issue of what is the center of decision making. Is it the heart, or is it the brain, or is it the brain following whatever the heart dictates as the place that controls everything? All what we find in the Quran is talking about the hearts and not the brain, not the mind. So it refers to the conscience, it refers to the actual heart that beats, and it has certain powers that Allah has placed in it that is beyond our comprehension. And this is why alayhi salatu wassalam emphasized that this is a morsel, that this is a flesh. The Prophet says, alayhi salam, there is a morsel in a man's body. Once it is good, the whole body is good. Once it's corrupted, the whole body is corrupted. This is the heart. So this is not our topic. Our topic is the definition of Iman. So the definition of Iman is the conviction of the heart. The words that we say and the actions that we actually do with our limbs and body. This is taken together, words, action, and belief constitute faith. And the author gives an example. Unlike the other examples that we know of, 3 in 1, no, we are talking about the Islamic concept. These three are so related, the conviction, the words, the actions you do, that if one of them is not present entirely, it nullifies Iman. Exactly as the Shaykh gave an example with Maghrib prayer. He says, Maghrib prayer consists of 3 rak'ah. And if one is not included, the prayer is not Maghrib. By the same token, if any of the 3 elements, words, actions, and belief, is lacking, the condition is not called faith. So this is where a lot of the different sects emerged because of their misunderstanding of this concept. And we will get to this later on, inshallah, when we at least have a good clear idea about the concept of Iman. The Shaykh goes on to say, the truth of these 3 constituents, words, action, and belief, which when one is missing, faith is missing. This is a unique aspect of the religion advocated by the Prophet ﷺ. So you won't find this concept anywhere in other religions, because they have not gone that deep into what religion is. And all previous and coming religions talk superficially, not to the core. So what is meant by belief is not merely to love what is good for all people and to be free of hatred. This is something that most people would prefer, even though they may not believe in the Creator. So this is something that we have to make clear. Lots of the people think that when we talk about Islam, Iman, Ihsan, that these are good, generic things. And this what causes them to sometimes complain. John is a good person. Tom is an excellent neighbor. They are full of good things. They do a lot of good things for us. They're kind, they're generous, etc. Why would they go to hell if they don't simply believe in Islam? Simply because this is what Islam is about. It's not what people like or prefer. It is according to what Allah Azza wa Jal has ordained, prescribed, and commanded us to do. And what is meant by belief, Iman, it's not merely to love what is good for all people and to be free from hatred. This is something that most people would prefer, even though they may not believe in the Creator, Allah Azza wa Jal. There are common beliefs and common good that all humans share, whether Muslims or non-Muslims. So everybody, regardless of their faith and religion, acknowledge that truth, honesty, bravery, generosity, kindness are things to be shared by all humans. These are beautiful attributes and characteristics that we all must have, regardless of your school of thought, of your religion, of your sect, of your cult, of your ethnicity. It has nothing to do with that. This is the common good that we all share. But when we come specifically to Iman, to belief, in this case, this is something that is more specific, more defined. What is meant by belief in this context is what the mind says and does. That's what all humans share. What the mind here we are referring to is not the human mind. The true and real belief is what the heart is told by Allah Azza wa Jal, by Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, our Prophet, and by the Sharia to have the conviction of. So what the mind, the heart, should say is that it believes there is no deity other than Allah, and that Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam is Allah's messenger, and that what the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam told us from his Lord is the truth. This is what the conviction should be. This is what our hearts should say. And when you come to the actions of the heart, because the hearts where the conviction is have a saying and also have an action. The body has actions. The tongue has sayings. So when it comes to the saying of the heart, then it has to be stating that there is no deity worthy of being worshipped other than Allah, and that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is his messenger, and all what we were told by the Prophet ﷺ is absolutely true. This is what your heart conviction should be based on, and this is what your heart should say all the time. Now, having said that, there are actions of the heart. So what are the actions of the heart? Okay, here we go. The mind's action, meaning the heart's action, is the love of God, the love of Allah, the love of the Prophet ﷺ, the love of Islam. It also includes loving what Allah and His Messenger ﷺ love, and to be sincere in one's worship of Allah. So a lot of the people don't know this, and this is where a lot of confusion arises. The heart itself has its own fields of belief and conviction, and it has things to say and things to do. So it's not all prayer and fasting. This is done by the body. You have tawakkul, dependence on Allah, fear of Allah, hope in Allah, refuge in seeking refuge in Allah Azza wa Jal. All of these are actions of the heart, and you have the heart filled with the belief in Allah Azza wa Jal, the ability of Allah Azza wa Jal to change things, to transform things, to provide for you. This is the belief and conviction of the heart, which rarely people focus on. And this is why the Prophet had placed a lot of emphasis, alayhi salatu wasalam, on the purity of the heart. That once your heart is pure and healthy, then the whole body would be pure and healthy. And this is what Ibrahim said, as Allah tells us in the Quran, that no child or wealth would benefit a person on the Day of Judgment except those who come with a pure, healthy heart. So it is extremely important to work on your heart, to work on your sincerity, to work on your intention, because this is only between you and Allah. No one knows what's in your heart. That is why the hypocrites, as we spoke about before, are the worst of the disbelievers, because they pretend to be Muslims and no one knows what goes into their hearts, and hence we treat them as Muslims, but they are fooling the people, thinking that they are also fooling Allah Azza wa Jal, and Allah is the one who's fooling them. So we have to work a lot on our hearts in order to be saved.